Hi there, I'm Mitch Gross from Convergent Design, and I'm at the B&H booth today showing off Apollo. This is a monitor, recorder, and switcher all in one. It's about 8 inches by 6 inches by just 1 inch thick. And this device is a complete production studio in the palm of your hand. Apollo is useful for lots of different applications, lots of different types of clients, different types of work. So only got 20 minutes, gonna try and get right into it. We appeal to a lot of different markets, a lot of different types of clients who are working with Apollo. Why would you need to have a device that can not only monitor signals and record signals and also switch signals, that can do up to 4 different video inputs at once, all in one box? That sounds interesting. Who's going to use it? This is useful for people doing interview work, documentary type work, doing seminars or house of worship, or just at a club somewhere. People who do car rigs, virtual reality, and small kind of setups, maybe even a video assist. This can be a complete video assist system right here in my hand. And then the whole world of virtual reality has been blowing up lately, and the problem with virtual reality is you got a whole bunch of different cameras and a bunch of different signals going everywhere. Well, let's get all the recordings, all the signals going into one box so that you can keep the system organized and compact. So to get into actually what it does and how it can perform, first off, dual 4K. Can record 2 4K signals up to 30 frames a second. If you have only one, you can get up to 60 frames a second directly into the Apollo. And that's 4K at true 4096 by 2160 or 4K in the Ultra HD version at 3840. We also can do different signal paths for it. So we can do HDMI, we can do 3G SDI, we can do 6G SDI from cameras such as Blackmagic. So there's a lot of versatility. You see there's a lot of connectivity in the unit itself, lots of different plugs, lots of different ways in and out of the box. We record everything in Apple ProRes, so that's in 422 HQ, regular 422 or LT. And it has, the way that you view 2 different 4K signals is it's a sort of a picture-in-picture. And so you can just tap on the smaller image and that's switched between them, or if you go to the controls down at the bottom, you can actually just make it clean so you can see just one or the other, so you need to see the whole frame. But it's a very easy way to actually absorb in 2 4K signals at the same time. And to realize the level of power of this, it has 2 SSD slots and we have terabyte drives available. So that will 2 terabytes at 4K 30 frames a second and 422 HQ, our best quality, give you over 2 hours of recording, again, on this one little unit. The next mode is Quad HD. And Quad HD, it's, 4 signals coming in. 4 over SDI, over HDMI, you can do 720, 1080, 1080p. You can take 4 HD signals at the same time, be recording all of them. They're going to have matching time code. Their file names are all going to match out. All that's going to just be recorded at once. But then we still have more capacity available. So we can record a 5th channel. What are you going to get on their 5th channel? Well, you have a choice. You can get that quad split view. That's how you would see all 4 signals at once. And that's really useful, say, for video assist. Or if you're using it in a car rig and maybe sending a video transmitter to a follow car or something like that, or just want to be able to monitor, doing an interview and you want to see all your angles all at once. That can be your quad split recording. So you have 5 things being recorded, the original ISOs as well as the split signal. Or you can make it be a live switch, because this is a switcher as well. That's a lot of power. You're actually being a live in-field switcher, and that can go out to a monitor or wherever you want people to see a live switch. Go to the internet if you want, or you can record that live switch, and there's your program. And if you made a mistake along the way or just decide you want to change it, you've recorded your 4 ISOs as well, the 4 original camera feeds, so you can always go back and post and address that. That's a lot of power, all in here, all at the same time. And if you lost any signal along the way when you're doing your live switch, you have these 4 signals coming in. we have this auto-acquire system. What does that mean? It means if you lose any one signal, the thing's going to keep recording. It's going to record all the others. You can lose 3 out of your 4 signals. It's going to keep recording. The moment you plug it back in, the moment you get your battery swapped or whatever, why ever you lost the signal, it's going to come right back in there. It's all going to still stay in sync, and you'll just keep on recording. Your quad split with the live switch or your 4 ISOs and your 5th channel, your live switch, 1080p, 30 ProRes, HQ, our highest quality stuff, you get almost 3 3/4 hours of recording time at our highest quality. And if you want to lower the quality, if you don't need 422 HQ, you can get like 10 hours of recording. It's a crazy amount of material you can get on here. So it's very powerful, again, complete system right in your hand. The live switch is not only for cuts, but we have just introduced dissolve. So you can actually dissolve from one shot to the other, again, all with this little box. You have preview and program indicators so that you see which mode, which signal is which, but then we also output 2 secondary monitors so that you can have one displaying as your preview and one displaying as your program, so you can sort of build out a whole system. But if you don't need to have that, and if you want to travel really light, again, this weighs just over 1 pound and slips into any camera bag, so you can be a very portable switching system. It works with a double tap or a single tap, so you don't have to worry about accidentally switching it when you hit the touch screen. And you have input naming, so you can actually know that this camera is Bill, so you can radio over to him to zoom in or whatever. And if you needed to, say, use these different inputs and name your inputs for later on doing virtual reality and they have to stitch the things together, you can have the identification for each input, and that goes in the metadata of the ProRes files, and so you can pull it all out. Again, lots of different people can use these in different ways. And it records the ISOs and the live switch. That's important. It's not just recording the switcher. It is recording all the independent ISO recordings from the original camera files so that you have your choice to be able to rebuild your edit in post if you want to make some changes. So monitoring, you can see here, we have 3 different outputs, HDMI, SDI-A, and SDI-B, and you can assign them differently. So they could have a quad view, what's coming out of your main unit. You could have just a quad view coming out. You can have the program coming out. You could have just preview, selection, and program. You can really mix and match that however you might like. We have LUTs built into the system. We have a bunch of preset LUTs, as well as you can load up to 140 custom LUTs. So whatever you want to look to be for your system, you can load that in here, and then you can apply that with your output so that you can create a look for your show. And you can individually address that on different outputs, because we have a bunch of monitoring tools and stuff available too, like waveforms and vector scopes, so whatever you might need to do to match your cameras and such. In Playback, this is a complete playback system too, multi-camera playback. So we can take all the video tracks, imagine they're like on a timeline together, and they're all rolling in sync. All of them are available at the same time. So you can actually switch between input A and input C or whatever when it's paused, while it's actually playing. Either way, you can have like your 5th track might be either your live switch or it might be the quad split, so you can see all 4 at once and let me just go to the full screen of that one camera. I can go back and forth between them as I want, as I wish, that whatever makes sense. And you can then do markers. We have up to 32 markers for in and out points, or doing just a reference point along the way. So imagine you're doing an interview, and 60 Minutes is one of our big clients now with this device. They're using it for all their interviews. They go to a location, 4 cameras get all recorded along with the quad split view. So they have all of those, that's your 5th track. And now in Playback, the guys the producer's on his flight home, he takes the whole Apollo and he's playing everything right back on his screen, and he's got a time code readout, and he's able to look at all 4 things at once and be able to say, all right, well, here's an important moment. I can put a little reference mark here. That's going to reference on the time code, so it's going to apply to all 5 video streams. He's got all that information all logged out, and he can write out his time code log if he wants to, and really build out all that material so that when he gets back to his editing suite, he can load right in and get right to work. And he's got all his information. It's a very efficient way to work. It's a very complete system in that way. We're really trying to make the tools function for the way people might want to do their jobs. Again, you can also, all of those tools like LUTs and waveforms and whatever, all that can be used in Playback as well. So if you want to like check focus on a shot or something, all that's available to you. Now, AV Align is something we just announced at the show here just today. It is one of those things you kind of wrap your head around a little. It's kind of wild. What you're doing in AV Align is you might have 4 different cameras from 4 different manufacturers, different brands, and especially if 1 or 2 of them might be sort of the more prosumer, little, like, say, mirrorless cameras and something. Some of those delay the video signal as it goes through to get out to output to the world, or the audio is delayed a little bit relative to the video, and they can shift relative to one another. Well, what we can do is we can address that delay individually for each input, and we can do it separately for the video and separately for the audio for each input. So imagine what you do is you have your 4 cameras, and you point them all at a slate, and you clap the slate. Then you go into the Playback, and you look at it, and you can then individually line up each camera relative to each other and set that as your AV alignment, and now you're ready to shoot, and everything's going to be in perfect sync. If you have 4 of the same camera models, then it's all going to match, and then it'll be the same. Maybe you need to adjust the audio, but maybe they'll all be in sync. But because we have this ability, you can mix and match your cameras. You can have your big cameras, your main one, and then you have some little consumer cameras, like getting a little weird side angle or something for your interview, whatever it might be. You can match different types of cameras together and get them actually all to sync up properly, and then all that work you would have to do in post that would become a small nightmare all goes away. And of course, you can live switch between them this way, and they're in sync live as an event right in front of you. And you know what? Let's move on, because I only have so much time. All right, so Apollo Audio, we have 8 tracks of audio for every ProRes file. That's as embedded in the SDI stream. So 8 tracks of audio embedded in, and that means 32 tracks are actually being recorded because it's for each camera. So if you have that available to you in your different camera types, we can really get lots of audio information in there. The 5th track of video is always just going to take from your master. So if you have a live switch or something, it's going to take from that master input, and that's going to be the same of what goes out, the program output, your SDIB. That is, your live switch to the world kind of thing. We have an analog input that is just a line level input if you want to come from a switcher, from an audio mixer, or from a wireless mic system that just is your master audio. And we do have this other new feature, which is audio follows video. So let's say you're someone who's doing corporate seminar work, and someone is Skyping in for one of your feeds, and another thing is from a computer, and it's going to have an audio file on it. You want to just be able to, when you switch your inputs, you want to have the audio and the video switch together. You can have it all just work that way together as one switch, the audio and the video switch together. Or you can be the way production switching is, where you just switch around the video and the audio is done as a separate act on like a mixer. Either way, we offer it to work the type of work that you do. Post is a beautiful thing. Right now, multi-camera post sucks. It's a pain because you have to get all these different file types, and they have different naming conventions from different recording systems, and there are different codecs. You got to transcode it, and then you got to get it all into your memory in your NLE, your pool, and then you've got to grab them together and get them all synced up, and maybe the time code is slipped. You don't have to do any of that with Apollo. It's all sort of self-syncing, if you will. You have 4 tracks of your original inputs, as well as the 5th, if you chose to record it, of a live switch or a quad split. All of those are traveling together in one big multi-track format. And then you use our tool, the CD ProRes transfer tool. You use that tool either as just the way you would originally take it into your computer, or if you took it in but just by doing a drag and drop, you can then translate it so that it turns it, that multi-track file, into a little group in a folder of, here's your clip number 391 here, but here's your clip number 1, A camera, 391 B camera, 391 C camera, D, and then quad splitter live switch. So a bunch of match files, and there's also like some XML files and stuff like that. But it all comes out together with the matching file names with a little extension letting you know which input it was, and all the time code matches on these things. So you take that whole group, you load all that into your NLE, and then you go to the pool and you select on all of them together. You like drag it so you grab all of them together, and you do a right click, and it works the same in Premiere, it works the same in Final Cut, it works the same in the DaVinci. You just grab all them, do a right click, and you say multi-camera, and poof, they're all one file grouped together. You take that one big file, you drop it on your timeline, there they are, all in sync. This is what you see. And it's just built that all together. That has just saved hours of work. I mean, it's unbelievable how much work and drudgery work that has just eliminated. So you can just get right to your job of actually going ahead and actually editing material. You can get right to not having to worry about sync and time code and finding files and translating and transcoding and all that garbage. It's all organized, really, really sweet, really efficient. It's just very quick to work with. It's complete change from the way you traditionally have to deal with the multi-camera. Now, this is just a bunch of different record times for all the different formats we do, and there's so many different variations. This is just a quick reference, but it's to give you the idea that we have a lot of capacity available. We can do a lot of different resolutions and such, and depending on how much material you have, we can really record a lot. And what is important is another new feature: double master recording. This chart, by the way, in a much more expanded form, exists on our website. So if you are curious exactly how much we can get, I'll tell you right there. But double master recording, what that does, traditionally, we have 2 SSD slots, and you'll fill one up, and then you'll span to the next one, fill that one up. Another option you have is double masters, where you can record the exact same thing on one, and at the same time record the exact same file on the second one. So 2 identical recordings. Why would I bother to do that? Well, you have a backup in case you're worried your SSD might fail, which they never do. But the other thing is that I can pop one out, hand it to my client, and they're gone. They can leave. They can download that stuff later because you have your backup copy that you just put in your bag, and you've got it covered, because SSDs are cheap now, and you can just have this material. They can run off with it, send it back to you later if you want, or let them buy it. And then now you are protected. You instantly have 2 backups. If you are in one of those situations with insurance questions, then you can immediately do 2 cameras to take 2 SSDs, 2 computers, and be able to offload and make multiple backups at the same time. The efficiency is very high. Depending on how you want to work, depending what's more important to you, there's a lot of ways that you are protected with this. Apollo accessories, again, this stuff is all, B&H has all this stuff available on their website, and it's on our website, but we have different SSDs we make. You can also use some Samsung. We have a rack mount. We have a wireless bracket, so you can put on some Teradeks and be able to look at multiple cameras at the same time. We have a little table stand. In the future, we're going to have a keyboard for it. We make cables and battery plates and a remote trigger. Got a sunshade, even a little case, different screen protectors. Lots of accessories available for it. So, real quick, there is a sale going on for the month of April, an NAB special. The Apollo is on sale for $29.95. That's $1,000 off. There is also another model, which is the Odyssey 7Q Plus. That is on sale for $17.95. That's $500 off. And then there's an Apollo option for it, which is $12.95 on sale. That's $500 off the normal price. And so that can then turn that device into an Apollo. Thank you all. Thank you to B&H for allowing me this opportunity.
Whether you're a hobbyist or a professional, B&H has the answers to your questions. Experience a world of technology at our New York City Superstore. Connect with us online or give us a call. Our staff of experts is happy to help.